The secret world of Nike, the brand. You think you know. Have you ever stopped to wonder what's really behind the Nike brand? Sure, we all recognize the iconic swoosh, but do we really understand what it stands for? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, I guarantee the first thing you learn will totally change the way you think about Nike. And honestly, it might even shock you. Nike isn't just a brand that makes sneakers. It's way more than that. From its humble beginnings at a small university in Oregon to becoming a global powerhouse, Nike's journey is full of surprises. So, if you think you know all there is to know about Nike, think again. What I'm about to share might surprise you, and definitely isn't something you've heard before. The birth of a giant, from University of Oregon to global domination. Let's rewind a bit and talk about where it all began. Picture this. Phil Knight, a former track athlete, and his coach, Bill Bowerman at the University of Oregon, were obsessed with improving running shoes. They started a company in 1964 called Blue Ribbon Sports, and they began selling Japanese-made sneakers. But in 1971, everything changed when they rebranded the company to Nike, named after the Greek goddess of victory. In the beginning, things weren't so easy. Nike didn't hit it big right away, but what set them apart was their vision. They focused on designing running shoes that athletes actually needed, and that's when people started noticing. The swoosh, the icon we all recognize. Now let's talk about that swoosh. You've seen it everywhere, right? Here's something most people don't know. That simple logo was designed by a college student, Carolyn Davidson, in 1971. She was hired by Nike to come up with a logo, and she was paid $35 for it. Can you imagine? Today, that swoosh is probably worth billions. The beauty of the design is its simplicity. The swoosh represents motion and speed, which perfectly captures the essence of the brand. Nike isn't just about shoes, it's about victory. Oh, and by the way, Carolyn didn't just walk away with $35. Nike later rewarded her with stock in the company, which turned out to be worth millions as Nike grew. Nike's breakthrough moment. The power of Michael Jordan. One of the most significant moves Nike ever made was signing Michael Jordan. But here's the twist. Michael Jordan didn't even want to work with Nike at first. He was actually set to sign with Adidas, but Nike made him an offer he couldn't refuse, a deal where he would have his own line of shoes. That's when the Air Jordan line was born. Air Jordans weren't just sneaker, they were a cultural movement. Nike's marketing genius really showed when the NBA banned the Air Jordan 1 because it didn't meet uniform regulations. Instead of backing down, Nike used the ban to launch a massive ad campaign. From that point on, Nike wasn't just a shoe brand, they were a lifestyle. From sneakers to global movement. Nike's marketing genius, Nike, didn't just sell shoes, they sold belief. Their Just Do It slogan became more than just a catchy phrase. It became an anthem for anyone who wanted to push their limits, whether they were an athlete or just someone trying to do better in life. Nike's ads didn't just focus on the products. They focused on the story behind the athlete. They told us that greatness isn't just for the elite, it's for anyone who's willing to put in the work. Whether it was Serena Williams, LeBron James, or Colin Kaepernick, Nike's ability to tap into human emotion made them not just a brand, but a movement. The innovation that revolutionized sportswear. When you think of Nike, what comes to mind? Probably their shoes, right? But did you know Nike has been a pioneer in sportswear technology? They've constantly pushed the boundaries with innovations like Nike Air, Flyknit, and Dry Feet. Take Nike Air, for example. When they introduced it, it revolutionized the comfort and performance of shoes. And Flyknit, it's an eco-friendly material that's lightweight, durable, and helps reduce waste. Nike's ability to create new technologies that improve both performance and comfort has kept them ahead of the game. They've shown that making products that perform isn't enough. They've also had to make them innovative, fashionable, and eco-friendly. Malia Obama and the A1 Revolution. Malia Obama, daughter of former US President Barack Obama, made her directorial debut in the sportswear industry by directing a commercial for WNBA star Aha Wilson's signature shoe, the A1. The commercial, which quickly went viral, celebrates young black girlhood, featuring cultural elements like braided hairstyles with bead spelling Aja and Southern-inspired fashion. The A1, designed for peak performance, includes features like Cushion ST2 foam for responsive cushioning and a breathable mesh upper for dynamic movement. This collaboration not only highlights Nike's commitment to diversity and representation, but also bridges the gap between sports, culture, and fashion. The SNKRS Showcase, a sneakerhead's paradise. Nike's SNKRS Showcase in early 2025 unveiled approximately 20 upcoming footwear styles, offering sneaker enthusiasts a glimpse into the future. Highlights included the Nike Air Superfly, a matte green colorway of the Air Max Muse, and restyled versions of classics like the Air Max 95 and Air Diamond Turf. The showcase, streamed live from Nike's headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon, emphasized the brand's commitment to innovation and its connection with the sneaker community. These releases, scheduled throughout the year, demonstrate Nike's ability to blend heritage with modern design. Financial fortitude. Nike's Q3 2025 report, Nike's fiscal third quarter results for 2025, showcased its robust financial health. The company returned approximately $1.1 billion to shareholders, including $594 million in dividends, marking a 6% increase from the previous year. Additionally, Nike repurchased 6.5 million shares, totaling $499 million, as part of its four-year, $18 billion program. Despite a slight decrease in cash and equivalents to $10.4 billion, the company's strategic investments and shareholder returns reflect its confidence in sustained growth and market leadership. The global impact, how Nike changed the world. Nike is more than just a company that makes shoes. They've become a cultural powerhouse. Through their campaigns, Nike has always been about more than just sports. It's about empowerment, equality, and pushing past limits. A perfect example is their partnership with Colin Kaepernick, where they made a bold statement about social justice. Nike wasn't afraid to take a stand on issues that matter, even if it meant facing backlash. That's one of the reasons the brand resonates with so many people. It's not just about what you wear, it's about what you believe. Nike turned athletes into activists and showed the world that a brand could be a platform for change. The shocking truth about Nike. Fact number 1, you won't believe. Here's something that might surprise you. Nike didn't always have the best reputation for quality. In fact, in the early days, their shoes often had major flaws. They'd fall apart after a few runs, and the company had to scramble to fix it. But instead of giving up, Nike took those early mistakes and learned from them. They focused on improving their products, and eventually they became known for their durability and comfort. It's a lesson that every successful company learns. Failure is just part of the process. Nike didn't get to where they are today by being perfect. They got there by constantly improving and never giving up. Fact number 2. Nike started in a car trunk. Before Nike was splashed across every major sports arena and billboard, it was just one guy and a car trunk. Yep. In the early 70s, Phil Knight, Nike's co-founder, literally sold running shoes out of the back of his car at local track meets. No big warehouse, no fancy offices, just raw hustle. He'd drive from meet to meet, opening up his trunk like a mobile sneaker stand. Hard to believe, right? The billion-dollar empire we know today started like a roadside hustle. The dark origins of just do it. Now, here's something that might creep you out a bit. You know Nike's legendary slogan, just do it. It's inspiring, powerful, and iconic, but the inspiration behind it, kind of shocking. It actually came from the last words of a convicted murderer named Gary Gilmore. Just before he was executed by firing squad in 1977, he simply said, "Let's do it." Nike's ad agency later adapted those words into "Just do it." Who knew such a dark origin could create one of the most positive and motivational slogans? Art of celebrity endorsement. Nike is the king of celebrity endorsements, but they didn't just sign athletes to wear their gear. They built partnerships with them, turning athletes like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Serena Williams into icons. Nike didn't just want athletes to wear their shoes, they wanted them to represent the brand. The beauty of these partnerships is that Nike didn't just focus on selling shoes. They created cultural icons. These athletes didn't just wear Nike, they lived Nike. They became symbols of what the brand stood for: resilience, achievement, and pushing beyond the limits. Nike's sneaker culture revolution. Why sneakerheads love the swoosh. If you're a sneakerhead, you know Nike has totally transformed the sneaker culture. They didn't just create shoes, they created hype, limited edition releases, collaborations with designers like Off-White's Virgil Abloh, and partnerships with artists turned Nike sneakers into collector's items. The demand for these sneakers is insane. People camp out for days to get their hands on a new pair, and the resale value can skyrocket. Nike turned a pair of sneakers into a status symbol and cultural phenomenon, and it all started with that Air Jordan partnership that made people not just want shoes, but wanted to be part of something bigger. The dark side of Nike: labor controversies and social responsibility. Nike has definitely had its share of controversies, particularly with labor practices. In the 1990s, the company was accused of using sweatshop labor in countries like Vietnam and Indonesia. Reports of poor working conditions, low wages, and even child labor tarnished their reputation. But here's where it gets interesting. Nike faced the issue head on. They changed their practices, reformed their supply chain, and began working with labor watchdogs to improve conditions. While their past issues were certainly problematic, Nike's commitment to change and accountability set the stage for their future as a more responsible company. Nike's bold moves in sustainability. Nike's future is looking more sustainable than ever. With the Move to Zero campaign, they're pushing to achieve zero carbon emissions and zero waste. They've created sneakers made from 100% recycled materials. And their new Fly leather is not only lightweight, but also made from at least 50% recycled materials. This shift towards sustainability is a huge move for Nike and is setting a new standard for the industry. They're proving that companies can be innovative, fashionable, and eco-friendly at the same time. The enduring legacy of Nike. Nike's journey has been anything but ordinary. From a small start in Oregon to taking the world by storm, the company has always been about innovation, determination, and pushing the limits. Whether it's through creating game-changing products, making a difference in social justice, or leading the way in sustainability, Nike continues to set the standard for what a brand can be. So, what's next for Nike? Who knows? But if history has taught us anything, it's that they're not slowing down anytime soon. The swoosh is more than just a logo. It's a symbol of what's possible when you dare to be different.